Welcome back to another Buddies Booze Banter Unfiltered Conversations. I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Alex, the producer.
And we also have Kara joining us today. Hi, Kara.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, our first guest.
Yeah.
You should be so honored.
Well, no, or we should be honored.
Well, no, she should be, and she should be getting a plaque, too, for being the first.
Absolutely. Now, we expect a lot of commentary throughout the entire session here now.
I'll do my best.
On how good we are or how good I am, and you're just, Rick just blah, 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 blah.
I mean, you guys crack me up every week, so.
Well, that's the banter with a few cocktails. That's for sure.
Totally love it.
Well, I mean, naturally.
Well, you say cocktails. Do we need to tell the cocktails that we're drinking?
Well, I don't want to actually name the brands because they're not sponsoring us.
Well, but if we mention it, then we can tell them, hey, we will
No, because when I actually post these, then I have to say that we've mentioned them, and I don't want to do that until they actually sponsor us.
All right.
But, I mean, there's obviously some whiskey and something and some vodka
Sprite,
and something and
Coke,
some
water.
rum and something. So, yeah, we got various ones. And
But
and
anybody that knows me knows my drink.
well, yeah, and anybody knows me, what brand of vodka I go for. So, but anyhow. But so we've got a couple things that we got to wrap up that we touched base on last week, and obviously about Trump. You know, Trump and his continuing legal battles out there. And I don't want to continue on too much of this. I just want to kind of.
Well, you could forever and ever and ever because
Well, yeah,
it's going to be going on, but
no doubt. I mean, but
then we'd be the Trump show.
But really, I want to talk about the New York case, obviously, where they just fined him that $450 or something.
Wait, are you talking about the civil?
Yeah,
civil?
the fraud case. The fraud case.
Okay, because the
payoff a porn star that starts next week.
Yeah,
right?
that starts in March. So I was just checking to see which one you were talking about.
Well, that's the one I actually really want them to videotape the entire thing. Just as, I mean, what's her name?
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels. She's a riot. I mean, when she comes out there and some of the stuff that she says, I'd love to be able to see what she says. Well, anyways, that fine obviously has now been recorded into the actual court logs or whatever it means. And so the clock is ticking.
Yep, he's got 30 days.
Yesterday, he did actually indicate that he was going to appeal.
Which meant nothing.
It just gives him 30 days to get your shit together.
Well, no, it's like that. His filing had nothing. Because before it can be appealed, he has to put up the money.
Well, but what happened specifically with the whatever they did yesterday with the courts? They said that he doesn't have the money. His lawyers actually said he doesn't have the $454 million. You know, so with the clock ticking, there's another $111,000 per day of interest that continues to rack up. So if we hit this 30 days, I mean, he's going to be well up in $1 billion with this fine, which clearly he is not going to be able to win the appeal. I mean, there's no doubt that there was fraud that actually occurred over the last several decades with the Trump organization.
I mean, he won't win the appeal, but
he's just trying to push it further out.
He can or whatever. But the one thing that could change is the amount, because I know on other cases where they get huge amounts, then on appeal they might lower.
But that's typically when there's a jury involved.
Well, but jury
and it's usually
not,
the judges who actually decrease that based upon certain.
But I'm just saying, I'm not saying
that.
It's going to happen, but I'm just saying that's the only thing I think it can happen.
I don't think there's a cap on it.
But I did hear a rumor, and I don't know if it's true because you can't believe everything you hear on TV, but supposedly they're going to be doing an IPO on, was it Truth Social?
Oh, the failing social, like Twitter knockoff?
Yeah.
They're losing money.
I believe everything that's on TV.
Well, I mean, but
or everything that's on Truth Social.
But you guys don't even know. Finish your thought, and then I have a.
But what I was going to say is,
quick.
you never know what's true. But I heard something, and I heard or whatever that they're thinking about doing an IPO.
I guarantee he's going to try it.
Ultimately, they said he could make couple $1 billion or whatever on it.
But first of all, they had investors. So those investors obviously have to be compensated for their initial investment.
Right.
But also the fact of the matter, there's certain criteria in order for you to have an IPO from the SEC.
But I'm also saying but if you do that stuff, foreign money could come in here and.
Oh, I think they're going to use the $2 billion from Saudi Arabia.
So I mean, there's things going on, but it's just going to be an interesting story going on, but something or whatever. But it's just like he knows how to manipulate the system.
Well, and that's what we're going to try to do. He's hoping that he actually wins the presidency so he can make it go away. Once I'm in office, you can't do anything. It's kind of like what he's saying. And technically they can't.
Well, you can't. He can get rid of the federals, but he can't get rid of the states.
Yeah, but they would put it on pause because he's president of the United States.
No.
While in office, on those type of things, they do have some sort of immunity. It stalls things, whether it's state or federal.
No. I mean, but these cases have already been decided.
I get that, but I mean, the appeal process that puts it on hold. It's like a whole new process in the case.
I don't agree. I don't know if that's true or not.
What I do want to see,
I do know if they were going to go to court and all that stuff but doing the appeals, I don't think that
we'll
affected.
see.
But we'll see.
But what I do want to see, I want to see the Attorney General of New York confiscate his properties. I want to see her foreclose on them. I want to see Trump Plaza have belongs to New York City or New York State. I want to see that up there. I mean, really. Did you actually see the protesters that were out there saying that? They were carrying these little protest signs saying, property of the New York State and all that. And that once they actually did the fine out there, it was funny as hell. I want to see that. I mean, that's because that's going to be embarrassing as hell for him.
Oh yeah.
And the more we can embarrass him, the best.
I mean, instead of Trump Tower, what is it going to be? New York Tower?
I don't know. I mean, something, that's for sure. And don't forget, we still actually have the 2 defamation cases, which have not been, because they haven't put the money up for that, for appeal process.
Which one?
For E. Jean Carroll.
Well, he did the first one.
Well, he did that, but obviously that was only $5.5 million.
Yeah.
He didn't do any of the $83 million yet.
No.
And now apparently her attorney is talking about suing again for the defamation that he did again.
But he's been a little bit more quieter this third go around.
Yeah, but he has opened his mouth once enough, because that's exactly what happened with the $83 million. So have him open his damn mouth again, and let me say.
I mean, if he would have kept his mouth shut, it would
He
only
can't
been,
keep his mouth
I
shut.
know, but it would only been $5 million, and he wouldn't have had the 83.
Yeah.
But I mean, he thinks he can get away with everything, and in reality, he does until he doesn't.
I think he thinks that all of this is going to go away at some point in time, and I think that once he's actually convicted, whether federally or state, on the criminal cases, it's the end of him. It's the end of him. I mean, I was listening to some of the actual voters out there who are being interviewed, and that's constantly happening now. And they were saying, I can't, in all consciousness, vote for him if he's a convicted felon. So, and again, I don't know what the legalities are for a felon. If he gets convicted before the election's over,
he can still run.
Well, he can still run, but can he actually hold office
Yep.
as a felon?
Yep, he can.
Interesting.
He might be in jail, but he could.
So we have it. So we're going to have this like Oval Office from a jail. That's going to be nice. Alex, so you believe everything on TV? You're saying?
Yeah, I thought the Disney World Princess Castle burned down.
So okay,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
no, I don't, because obviously I don't believe everything on TV.
No, so there I was with my phone in my hand, okay, and there was a TikTok that the Disney World
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw
Well, no,
that.
Burned down.
I saw the Eiffel Tower burn down. All on TikTok.
I believed it. I told everybody.
I saw several of things about Trump that were like putting him in jail. I mean, again, they're making all these little spoofs and stuff like this. And I mean, sometimes I'm really digging deep. It's like, is this really real?
I mean, that's the thing is, anytime you see something, you cannot
They got me.
think it's true anymore.
No, you need to research.
They got me.
Yeah, well,
I didn't research.
Now, what was this, 10, 15 years ago when big techs went up in smoke?
well
Now, if that happened
That was
today,
real.
that was real, and you'd have
but
now you'd have to
they
do
put
it,
protection in place for that one.
but you'd have to do a double tech now to see if it's true or not.
Well, and that's the same thing with the Eiffel Tower. That's why I did it. Well, Notre Dame burned down. They just
How
reopened
could
it.
the
Now the Eiffel
Tower
Tower.
burned down? It's metal,
No, there's obviously things inside the Eiffel Tower
but it's
going
still metal.
on. Wow. I mean, I'm sure Notre Dame was all concrete.
Well, no, you have. I mean, it was like.
I
things
guarantee
inside-
you there's wood in there and some other melting type metals and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but it's just-
but bottom line is there's obviously people out there really kind of playing these little games and kind of like trying to increase people's like scaredness and all that. So,
or their stupidity.
well,
Some people will believe anything.
I get you. All right.
Oh, did I just call you stupid?
Wow. Apparently so.
I apologize, Alex.
No, he doesn't. All right. So, as I promised, that was the it of Trump. I'm not going to talk about him anymore. Obviously, there's a couple of things.
Wait. For how long?
We talk
for
about
the rest
his
of
shoes.
The rest of this?
we
the
talked
rest
about
of this
last
shit?
week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
His gaudy ass gold shoes with the red soles. I mean, come on. I hope he gets sued by Louis Vuitton. I really do. And actually,
Believe it or
there's
not,
actually
this is not going to be the last time we talk about Trump.
well, there's actually people, lawyers and people who are really involved in that on TikTok are talking about that. That's a lawsuit ready to happen. Louis Vuitton has been very successful in winning their lawsuits worldwide on that. That's trademarked. So I hope that's another lawsuit for him. So he's an idiot. I mean, doesn't think things through, and he thinks that he can get away with it. So
But he's probably got a safer bet with the diaper not getting sued.
the diaper.
Yeah. Haven't you seen it? That they
I
have
have no
the
idea what you're talking about.
They had the shoe.
Oh yeah. Actually, I
and
have it
then
on
they
my phone. There's a picture of a
a
diaper.
picture of a
that's
diaper,
gold,
the-
too,
the gold
with a big T
diaper.
on it. What's because it kind of this is on TikTok, and it's like, and I started like, okay, is this true? Where apparently he is at one of those rallies that he recently did against conservative with a CPAC or whatever it is, and they said they shit his pants on stage. And everybody was like scrambling behind him, like, okay, how do we get him off stage? And he was just trying to wing it, and everybody in the audience was like, oh shit, So, but apparently he does wear diapers, so. And
Gold-plated diapers.
well, apparently, years ago with his cocaine and Adderall and all that is what made his system function really well. So, anyways, we
All
don't
right,
want-
enough of Trump now.
yeah. So, but let's talk about something that's kind of funny because it's kind of another, kind of a thing that the conservatives really look forward to. Although their membership has considerably decreased over the last decade, and that's the NRA also losing their lawsuit and the criminal case against them. So they found that the three top executives at the National Rifle Associations were liable in a civil trial that focused on alleged corruption and misspending of millions of dollars. So all these conservatives who were throwing millions and millions of donations into the NRA because it's a nonprofit, they were just spending on lavish, trips and planes and outings and things of that sort. And of course, they had filed for bankruptcy. Fortunately for us, and not unfortunately for them, it was not approved. And then, of course, as this verdict was about to come down, the NRA leader in January, Wayne LaPierre, resigned.
Yeah.
He resigned for health reasons. Dude, I mean, you could have resigned for psychiatric reasons years ago.
But, I mean, he's been that way the whole entire time.
Well, what's going to happen now, though? I mean, here we have their corruption. They're liable for corruption, and this is like two executives, and there's a fine of $5.4 million, and obviously their membership's dwindling. Their influence obviously is going to continue to decrease. So, are we going to continue to see these corrupt politicians in Congress continue to take money from them?
Yes.
Are we going to see that this? Well, but let's say that they were successful in declaring bankruptcy. How is it effective when a nonprofit has declared bankruptcy and a congressman or a House of Representative is taking donations from them?
You're trying to talk logical to something that's illogical.
Wow.
I mean, here you are. I mean, for the NRA, basically, when you get a big organization that's that big and that has people that are getting all kinds of money, eventually it's going to be any organization. But here we're talking about the NRA is that you're corrupt, and it's like the top guys take all the money.
But
and
there's got to be a
spend all the
tie-in
stuff.
on this corruption that was going on and spending these millions of dollars. There has to be a tie-in to these donations as well.
Well,
buying influence and interest, special interests and things of that sort.
They're not going to go to that deep. They should, but they're not going to.
I know it's New York, remember?
But it's just one of those things is where you get people giving money, and the ones that keep getting shafted are the people that are giving the money.
Yeah, well,
They're
mainly
it's like
idiots. There,
I
though.
don't understand why people are kind of on certain things keep giving the people money when you know exactly what it's going to. Those people that are giving the
I'm
money
sorry,
think it's all.
a GoFund set up for Donald Trump because he got fined $355 million.
And
they're idiots.
Well, but anybody that wants to do it, go right ahead. We might think they're idiots, but it's just like you're just.
No,
you're
I think-
just,
I
you're
think
just
that
giving you're giving your money to stupid things or whatever.
I think
and if
any-
that's what you want to do, fine.
I think
do it.
any shrink would tell you they're fucking stupid. You know, obviously they'll do it in professional words and things of that sort, but they're fucking stupid. Let's be honest. But I mean, I'm just kind of curious to see where the NRA is going to go now, because obviously I think their influence is going to continue to decrease. Because I mean, it's just an organization that was completely corrupt and is proven to be corrupt. I mean, and the fact that they wanted to escape this trial by declaring bankruptcy, they wanted to move from New York to Texas, and that didn't happen. I mean, it's just like they were throwing anything and everything at the wall to avoid this and anything coming out, and it came out. I mean, and when is these stupid people we're talking about? And I don't necessarily mean the politicians are stupid, because they're kind of sorry because they were taking money, they weren't given money. You know?
Politicians always take money.
Yeah, that's
for stupid
and
stupid or good reasons.
that's
they
on both
always will.
sides.
That's on both sides. It's
let's
on
be
both
honest.
sides. Totally, I'm not.
I mean,
but I'm just saying is this is one where eventually things kind of run its course, and I think on the NRA it is kind of basically run its course. Now
well,
it's
that's
going to
an
be
organization that needs to die.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who takes over afterwards and see what they can do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's in chaos, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, I really want to kind of move on to something a little bit more lighthearted, because I got some serious stuff over this, and it's kind of funny, but I mean.
All right, let's hear funny stuff.
No. I'm talking about you. I mean, you went to something recently.
Oh, last Friday night, I went to see the musical Beetlejuice, because I do have season tickets to the
Another season ticket thing.
Can I say what season tickets I've got?
Yeah.
All right, Broadway, Dallas. It used to be the Dallas Summer Musical. And I just went dead.
He's just messing with
That
you.
was a joke. It's like,
It's like, no,
Our
you can't-
producer
No.
was just cut me off.
He's basically saying you can't say anything.
And so this one was Beetlejuice, and it's like I took my nephew to it because he saw that it was coming, and he's like he wanted to go see it, and so I said, okay, I'll take you, and I thought it was great. It wasn't exactly like the movie.
Well, they never are.
Well, some of them are closer, but this one was a little bit different than kind of like
Well,
the
don't
movie.
give it too many spoilers, because obviously I'm seeing it this Saturday.
Okay.
Now,
But
Alex,
it was good.
You also saw it too.
yeah, I loved it. I mean, to be fair, when the intermission came, I go, "Is it over?" I thought it was over.
Oh my God!
So you don't go to
You don't
these
go to
shows much.
musicals.
I
often.
don't. No, I don't. I don't understand. I mean, I had fun.
Kara's like, yeah, no, he never goes.
What have you seen?
I've seen quite a few things.
Yeah.
I've seen Cinderella. I've seen The Little Mermaid. I've seen Wicked twice.
Oh,
Oh
Wicked's
yeah, I
great.
saw it in London. Yeah.
I've seen. I can't even remember Madame Butterfly. It's an opera.
Ooh.
Back when I was in the 6th grade choir.
But Alex, when you go to a musical, typically it is they have like a first half, then you have an intermission.
Yeah, it's
and then
very
you have
rare
a
they
second
don't.
half.
I think
Very
that-
rarely do they not have an intermission.
There was one recently that did that.
But it was just like, but most of them all do it or whatever. But for people that are out there, it was good. It was funny.
It was funny.
The guy that did Beetlejuice was hilarious. But I will also tell you, this is not the one where you'd want to take your kids or whatever, because there
Well,
is
Alex,
some,
you were saying the same thing.
there was. I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of dirty
the-
jokes, innuendos, and little kids.
Well, but the kid
Apparently there was, like, some
well, because you're gonna have the
gay
little kid
stuff, too.
because there was
A lot of it.
There was one time where Beetlejuice was talking to somebody in the audience and basically said, "Oh, I'll be in you tomorrow
No, he
later
literally
tonight."
said, and I quote, "That's what he said."
I know.
I think that there probably are other meanings to it, but our gutter minds
no,
go there.
we all
But-
knew that.
But isn't that like Disney and all like? If
No,
you
that
really
was
break it
no,
down,
Beetlejuice
those-
was not Disney.
and
that was
not only-
that was a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, no.
which is not for kids.
I know.
Even like The Nightmare Before Christmas, is that a kid movie?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you'll
Well, it is,
you'll
but
see a
it's-
lot of kids go there, especially in the matinees.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually, a lot of people have posted on Facebook and Instagram that they've taken their kids are like 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
But then you also had it where Beetlejuice got a kiss from a guy.
Oh Lord.
And that was, I mean, he also got it from the woman too, but it was a lot longer for the guy.
Yeah.
A lot of these musicals are definitely pushing the envelope, because obviously most of the people in the art industry are a little bit more liberal, so they're trying to push that agenda a little bit,
Well,
just
and
to be in the face of the conservatives.
And it's like I'm all for pushing the envelope and all that stuff. Isn't all the stuff in the
Oh, the innuendos are fine.
I thought was great or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I thought it was a great musical. I had a good time. I had a good time at it. My nephew had a great time, and it was like when they did those kind of jokes, he was like kind of like, oh my god! But then he
Just
he
for
started
clarity,
laughing.
his nephew's 21.
Yeah.
So he is an adult and he can legitimately go to it. So, or at least not actually be concerned about
the
it.
theater was packed, and so I mean that's the thing is
I think this is probably one of the more popular ones coming through. No, there was empty seats last time I went to Tina Turner.
well, but it
There was
depends
empty
on
seats
what-
in front of me, but it was
But
busy.
it just depends on. I mean, I recall. I mean, there was like a 5-year span where it's like it was only like maybe half full. So I mean, being now.
But that was when that creative director
Yeah,
was there.
whatever
and he was,
Jenkins
and
or
he was,
whatever his-
and he was focused on the families, the
Kids.
kids. Which I mean, kids don't have that much money.
Okay, so what do you see next? Back to the Future, Lion King, The Wiz.
Well,
He sees them all. He has
I,
them all.
I got them all. So
He has them all.
okay,
It just depends on who he takes.
that is true. But no,
Now I'm always a +1 for somebody else. I'm really lucky. You know, I mean, I really am lucky.
all right, I'm looking it up. The next one is Girl from the North Country.
What is that one about?
I've never even heard of that.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that one. And then Hamilton.
Oh, see, I'm not going to that one.
I've seen
hate
that
it.
one.
And then we got
commercial.
I literally went. I was trying to get through on that television production they did of it. 10 minutes is like I'm fucking done. I can't watch this.
And usually all these are at the Fair Park, Fair Park Music Hall. Oh, Hamilton's at Windspear. And then after Hamilton's Hairspray.
Now that I would like to see.
I've seen Hairspray.
I have also seen Hairspray,
Yeah.
but not at Dallas. I went to Fort Worth to see it. I took my
At
mom
the Bass
as well.
Theater?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw Phantom of the Opera
Well,
at Bass Hall too.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Hairspray is going to be in June. And then after that, Funny Girl.
Yeah, I want to see Funny Girl as well.
And
Again, I'm not paying for them, so I'm just hoping that I get invited.
And
so.
then that ends this season.
Okay.
And then they've already put out for next season. Next season.
Well, they've already put out for next season, but they've also started charging you for the season after, haven't they?
No, for the next season that I'm about to mention.
Yeah.
So like in December is like Shucked. Then there's Peter Pan.
I saw that actually when they did the prop up one here in like where the Fellowship Church is downtown. Mm-hmm. I saw it a couple of years. That was pretty cool.
And Juliet. That's the musical And Juliet. So I assume it's about Romeo and Juliet, but maybe just Juliet. I don't know.
Oh, you mean lesbians?
I don't know.
No, they're. I'm looking at it here online right here, and it literally says there is life after Romeo. And so
Okay,
that's
I
what
figured that's.
I have
So
no
she
idea
finds
what
another
it's
beau?
about. No idea. No idea.
And then you have
Or if
back.
she becomes a spinster?
Then you have Back to the Future.
I'm kind of curious how they're actually going to do that production.
I think it's probably be pretty cool. And
No,
then
I think it's going to be cool. Cool. I mean, you're talking about the car was a character in the movie.
I know. I'm sure they'll do it. Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
I've seen Mamma Mia several times, and it's a great musical. Lion King. I've seen that, and that is an unbelievable show.
Is it?
It is. If you, it is one of those you got to go see.
Interesting. Okay.
And then there's The Life of Pi,
I'd like to see that one.
and then The Wiz.
Oh, I definitely want to see the Wiz. I mean, that's going to be fun.
So I mean,
Again, if I get invited.
so it's like next year's season is also a good season or whatever. And it's like because because I moved back here in that's the Lion King.
There's a Lion King, yeah.
And I mean the way they do the animals and all that stuff it's just unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I've seen a kind of like outtakes of it when the people filmed it in the theaters. It kind of reminds me, and of course, it's not anywhere in production now, but it was Cats, because I saw Cats in London in the round, and literally,
Cats was not a musical I really liked.
yeah. But I mean, well, you didn't really see it in London. London it was in the round, and they were in the actual audience moving forward, and you'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden, what the hell? You know, it was really cool.
But Disney movies when they do it on Broadway, it's unbelievable. They go all out.
Well, they got the money.
It was like the movie The Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the movie at the animation, and you remember that a part where it's like "Be My Guest," where they do the song, and then they have all the things going in. And animation, it was unbelievable. Well, when I saw it for the first time, the musical, it was just like, okay, how are you going to do that? And they did one unbelievable amount of time. It's like, oh my God, this is incredible. So it's like if you get the chance to see Beauty and the Beast, go see that one too.
Nice.
That one's on my bucket list to see one of the high schools around the area where I live performed it when I was also still in high school, and they did a phenomenal job about that. So I can only imagine what it would be like going to
for something that's professional
Exactly.
production.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That they have an unlimited budget for sure, no doubt. Well, cool. I actually look forward to seeing that on Saturday.
Well, cool. And then you'll have to let us know what you think.
Oh yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. So, well,
Pretty sure?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's great company, anyways, that I'm going with. So, but let's kind of wrap this session up. But I got one topic that I want to talk about first because I really got to get this off my chest.
Oh God, here we go.
Oops, did Alabama fuck up?
This is what you're going to end with?
Absolutely.
And you think it's going to be short?
No, well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I mean, are you kidding
And you're
me?
not talking about the Alabama football team, are
Not
you?
well. Actually, there's interesting something about that. Well, we can talk about that in another podcast and how a certain mayor in Alabama is getting around the elimination of the inclusive equality type laws that they're trying to take off the books, and it's a $1 billion issue there, which is kind of I read this the other day. I was really surprised about this, but no,
You read?
Yeah, I did. I read a lot, actually. Yeah.
All right,
But,
just
but
asking.
really, the Alabama, obviously, court ruled that frozen embryos are people or kids or whatever you want to call it, and someone can be held liable for destroying them. So, of course, as soon as that ruling came out, everybody who was doing in vitro fertilization shut down automatically because they were afraid they were going to be liable
In Alabama.
in Alabama. But again, I mean, there's several other states that are attempting to actually follow the same suit. There's also a Republican House of Representatives out of California that wants to do it as a national one. I mean, it goes against everything about having family and building families on the Republican side. It's just like, oops, oh, well, no, can't do that. I mean, they can't get their shit together.
Well,
They're talking at both sides of the freaking mouth.
It's one of these is if you sleep with the devil, you're sometimes going to have to deal with the devil.
I mean, we can go down the list of exactly, the things that they fought for, and then all of a sudden it comes back to bite in the ass. I mean,
Well, and then now it's like, because ultimately a petri dish could be a kid or be a kid or whatever. So that's where all this problem's coming on. And now you got all these Republicans or whatever saying is well, Alabama should just get the legislation should come that it's not a person until it's inserted into somebody.
well, if we went along with the
And
actual,
if that's the case, I mean, so then now you got Alabama. It's like, okay, then they're going to be put on the record. People saying is, okay, as soon as it's done or whatever. So by getting rid of Roe Wade or whatever, it's just like opened up a lot of stuff, and it's just going to even get worse.
Let's play devil's advocate. I mean, if we actually utilize the GOP definition of when a egg or I don't know what it is. I mean, non-fetus or whatever it is classified as a living human being. Why aren't they counted in the census?
That's going to be on their list.
I mean, if that's a person, I mean, whether you are 1 year old or whether you're 100-year-old, you are counting the census.
But I mean, the one thing that people most people didn't realize, they were just thinking of abortion as the issue right there. They don't realize how this trickled down to everything you do. And it's like right now, women in the state of Texas are basically
Leaving
to
go to get decent medical care because they're not necessarily wanting an abortion, but their lives are at risk and they can't. There's no exceptions.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so that's the part where it's going to come. And it's like, I think it's going to be an election thing for the next few years until this all shakes out.
I'm pretty sure IVF is actually not one thing that they wanted to deal with.
No, but it adds to the story. It's like when all this stuff comes up, is they're not going to think it's the Democrats that are doing this to us. They all know that this is all because of the Republicans and what they've asked and all this stuff is. And all these people that thought it was just an abortion issue is now, I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this. I didn't expect to do
But
this.
let's
I don't
talk
want
about
to.
what we have to deal with when we eliminate IVF. I mean, the fact of the matter is, years ago, they would put dozens of eggs into the woman, and then obviously risked having triplets or twins, and also created, a possibility there was premature births. which then actually had the opportunity that the children would die. It would also put the mother at risk. Now, with the ability to actually do what they're doing with individual eggs, they have the and freezing them, they have the opportunity of continuing the process, but also mitigating the risks associated to having the baby harmed or the mother, which is really what it should be about. They're trying to build a family. You have cancer patients who can actually take their eggs and freeze them because they want to have a family in hopes that they actually get through their cancer treatments. Because obviously when you go through cancer treatments, it kills your bodies to some degree. And it kills your ability to be fertilized or fertile and to have children. So there's so many ramifications that they haven't even given a remote thought to it.
No, but they keep pushing it. They keep pushing the envelope, and everybody says, "Oh, this isn't going to affect me because you got your blue states, you got your red states." Well, eventually, this could affect the blue states because it's like you make it a national thing or whatever.
I don't think it'll ever get national because I mean, keep in mind. I mean, there's certain ratification processes that have to go through 2/3 of the state. So I mean,
I'm just saying is they could make a law in Congress in D.C.
I don't see it ever passing.
I'm just saying you just.
I mean, it may pass the House of Representatives, the Republicans in charge, but I don't see the Senate happening. And then whoever the president is, hopefully a Democrat, won't sign it.
Well, if it's a Democrat, no, they won't sign it. But it's like anything can happen. So I'm just saying is all this stuff is just showing the far left extremist hand, and it's like so everybody that's once out there vote against all this stuff. That's the only thing you do.
It doesn'smatter because I mean, you say vote. I mean, there's been nothing.
Voting does make a difference.
It makes a difference if you're voting for the right reasons. I mean, there's supporters of Trump out there who you go out there and you interview them and say, oh, what do you think of Biden, who had this affair with this porn star and paid her off and this and that and is being criminally charged? Oh, that's just unacceptable. It's like, yeah, actually, that was Trump.
I know.
I mean, they don't even know the facts.
They don't. I get it, but it's just like, but you got the extreme on both sides. It's like the 60% that's more or less in the middle. We've got to continue to keep.
You think it's 60?
I think it's 60%.
I think it's 50%, but
50,
I think you got 25 on
whatever.
either end.
Okay, 25 on either end, 50 on there, whatever. All you got to do is we got to stay and make things more sane. You got to vote. If you don't vote, then the extremists have it.
Yeah, well, there you go, folks. Vote. He says vote.
I said vote.
As long as you vote, then things are going to be good.
Well, no, I just said, I mean, voting is going to make a difference because it's like we've got extremists. Anything that's more in the middle, it's like we flip on it every time.
Naturally, yeah.
But if it's extremists, which there's a lot of extremists right now, you got to vote. We just got to get rid of the extremists.
I just think the extremists actually have the airways on both sides.
They do.
Well, anyways, we do appreciate you spending some time with us today and with Buddies, Booze, and Banter, Unfiltered Conversations.
I'm out
Rick.
of a drink, so it must be time to go.
It is, because I'm out of a drink as well. So I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
I'm Kara.
And Alex, too. So
I'm here also, man.
All right.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.